What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we got a top 10 for you. So top 10 power exercises that we love to do. There's more than 10 out there, but these are just 10 of our absolute favorites. So we get some full body ones. We also highlight some lower body, highlight some upper body. For lower body, a big part of what we do for power involves the hip hinge. So you'll notice that is a lot of what this video is about. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you do, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We post new videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays, so make sure you subscribe to catch all of them. Hope you guys like it.
All right, we are starting with the landmine. So this is one of my favorite mechanisms of power exercises. So we are starting off with a landmine push press. So you're gonna get all situated as if you're doing a landmine press, but you're gonna dip down, so you're gonna load it up with your lower body loaded in the glutes, and then you're gonna explode up, driving that bar straight up. So you really wanna power this thing up with your legs. Your arms are just an extension of the power you create with your lower body of that force. So you're gonna drive it up as fast as you can. While we're here, we're sticking with the landmine theme. We are doing a landmine split jerk. You've seen us do this a lot, especially with Caleb. I love doing a landmine split jerk. So you're gonna load it the exact same way as the push press, dip down, load it in the glutes. As you drive, you're gonna split and you're gonna press your arm forward. So opposite of the leg that goes forward is the arm that presses. I love this one for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's relatively safe and I can do it with young athletes. Number two, you need a lot of stability. As you split, you need to stabilize one leg in front, one leg in back, that split stance.
All right, number 3, we're going a trap bar speed pull. This is probably one of my top 3 favorite exercises. I do this a lot with youth athletes to really work on lower body power. So when it comes to power training, the biggest goal is you just want it to be explosive. Power is just creating force fast. So you've seen us do this quite a bit. So you've heard my explanations of speed pull, how I usually like to prop it up. I'm not gonna do that this time, right? We'll do that for different angles to build strength and create force out of. But essentially you're setting up just like you would a normal trap bar. Right, you get here, you get your position nice and tall, and then you're just gonna stand as fast as you can. One of those, reset, make sure you get your position again, pull as fast as you can. Make sure you're not pulling here, right? You wanna get low, you kinda tuck your hips. I want a big chest and just explode up. That weight's gonna kinda come up. If you're going fast enough, right, you'll push up on your toes. So this one is one of my favorites. All right, number 4 is going to be jumping. So there's a lot of different exercises that we do for jumping, but this is one of the best ways you can work on power production. So very sport specific. We do a lot of strength work that mimics the movement pattern that jumping does as well. So some things we like to do, a box jump, super great. Doing, a broad jump, a regular vertical jump, some type of hurdle jump. Skips are really good as well. Skaters, you get that side to side. So really anything that's just really rapid, stretch and then contraction. Involving that hip hinge is really crucial to developing powerful movements. So jumps are great. You work on, creating force through the hips, going all the way through. In the last video, you'll hear me talk about how important it is to do things that, exert force through the foot and the ankle complex. So jumping is a great way to work on that. Next up, we have a simple sprint. So a couple Instagram posts ago, if you guys follow us, you will have seen this. If you don't follow us, make sure you do follow us at @powerlux_fitness. But you will have seen our post about how simple yet effective sprinting is. So it is plain and simple one of the best power exercises we can do. Having to create that much force at that high of a speed. Obviously, in sports, we do a lot of sprinting, a lot of quick movement. So it's one of the best exercises that you can possibly do. And I actually programmed this a decent amount for our athletes after we hit some type of strength movement. Like let's say a back squat, for example. They come and they just do a really hard sprint. It doesn't need to be crazy far, maybe like 15 yards, 20 yards, whatever it is, but just as hard as you possibly can. It is absolutely amazing at power production.
Alrighty, we're doing a kettlebell swing. So ignore our little baby kettlebell. We need to buy heavier ones. But this is an amazing exercise for hip extension. Same as with, everything else you've been doing. Hip extension is a huge factor for sports performance, athletic training. So kettlebell swings are great. One reason in particular why I love these, especially the banded version of a kettlebell swing, is it works on putting your hamstrings on stretch really fast. So Spence, real quickly, like go a slow motion kettlebell swing. You don't need a kettlebell, but like slow motion, right? So you start in that hip extension and then you pop up really fast. And then as you load it down, right, you have that load that's coming down, and right here at that moment, you put your hamstrings on stretch really fast with load, and then you have to reverse it as fast as you can. So doing something like this is extremely sport specific, and I love partnering this with like a Nordic hamstring curl, for example, having to go down and bring it back up, and then you go rapid fire on those kettlebell swings. Med ball is one of the best ways. I feel like I'm starting off everything with one of the best ways, but there's a reason they're in our top 10. Med ball is an awesome choice for power production. I love doing this for all athletes because you can really involve, once again, that hip extension, that hip hinge movement. It's a great way to be full body. And then if we're looking at sports specific to, like hand sports like basketball, baseball, football, rugby, anything like that, obviously you want to be doing something where you can create power that kind of transfers from lower core into the upper body. So med ball is absolutely awesome. We love doing like a simple med ball slam, chest pass, overhead toss, rainbow slam, shot put, really love a shot put. So those are all just some examples. There's so many exercises you can do with the med ball, but to kind of, go off on a little bit, one of the other really great things about a med ball is as you're producing force, you're allowing the object to fly out of your hands. So if we look at something like a landmine split jerk or push press, or even if we look at a strength movement, if we're trying to be a little bit quicker, like with a bench press, for example, we have to decelerate a little bit at the top or else the bar is gonna fly out of our hands. So when it comes to doing like a med ball, for example, you're allowing that object to fly out of your hands so you can go 100% full force, as much power as possible through the entire motion. You don't have to slow up at the start. And if we look at something like baseball, for example, right, as they're throwing, they're going full force all the way through that motion. They're not decelerating whatsoever at the top. So you have to train that way as well. So doing med ball is awesome for that. Number 8, we are doing a clean. So I know that some people are fans, some people aren't fans. I am team clean. I absolutely love it. I learned how to do it when I was in college, and I think it is an amazing exercise at power production. However, I will say this, it's not right for every person. I think a big reason why some people don't prefer it is they think that there's other exercises that do something similar, that are easier to learn, take less time, and that's absolutely true, right? We can do things that you pick up faster, you don't have to learn the movement, they're not as technical, but I think that a lot of athletes are actually they're able to do cleans really well. And it might take a little bit, like a day or so to get the hang of it, but for all of my athletes, I'm able to teach them how to do it in about like 10 minutes. And yeah, it takes 10 minutes of time, but I think that there is merit to it, especially as you get higher up with your athletes. So I love doing these. So these are one of my favorites. They're great for that hip extension. They're great at producing power. I don't like pulling from the ground. I like doing it from, a hang. That's just because for me, this is more sport specific, for the same reason why I think an RDL is more sport specific than just a regular conventional deadlift. That way, having to start here, we put it on stretch and then we reverse it that way, and we get out of our power production angles. I'm not pulling from the ground, right? If certain positions, like in football, for example, there's merit to doing it from pulling from the ground. You have to produce power out of that angle. But for, I'd say 95% of athletes, I like doing a clean from a hang. Number 9, this is one that I honestly don't do a lot, but I've kind of started to integrate it more into the program. So it's kind of like a kind of like a rack pull mixed with just a concentric RDL. So you'll notice we put the 6 on the ground. That's just to prop Spencer up a little bit so you can get better angles. So you're gonna, line up kind of like you're doing an RDL, like you're preparing for rack pull. And you're just gonna stand up as aggressively as possible. Drive your hips through, reset. So notice how he starts, like Spence, pause real quickly. Like his back is perfectly flat. He's just loading it, all right, you're good. He's just loading it all in his glutes, keeping that bar nice and close. His hip hinge is driving it. So this is a great exercise for more hip extension as well. Last but not least, we are using, of course, the sled. So for a lower body option, I love doing a sled sprint. It's a resisted sprint. You're not in perfect sprint form, especially because you're not using your arms, but it's a great way for power production through the legs. I love doing this for acceleration training as well. And then something for upper body, for a push, we do an explosive sled push. So you take a step, you push. It's sometimes hard doing power stuff other than like med ball. But this is a great way to get some upper body power in. And you can release it, and you can also, move while you do it. So I like to step with it, add a little extra power in there. You can also do it stationary, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Check out these power exercises for yourself. We love power here, hence the name. It's written in the shirt, so it's a thing. Boom, baby. All right, catch you guys in the next one.